There we go. So I was saying, always look at the support and resistance levels on the highest time frame because the highest time frame, it's going to be the most significant when it comes to support and resistance. I'm not talking about supply and demand, although supply and demand are also quite significant on the highest time frame. Support and resistance, right? Those are our moving averages. That's more mass psychology, right? And the support and resistance levels that we draw, I mean, the supply and demand zone levels that we draw, like this here, that's more of an imbalance between buyers and sellers, right? Here's where all the buyers came in at this drop base rally. Okay. Um, so again, supply and demand, imbalance between buyers and sellers, and then support and resistance, like moving averages, that's more mass psychology, right? Because everybody's looking at that. Um, so, just mark that off. So I've got the 50 simple moving average here on the 3 hour chart, and you can, just label it that so you know what you're looking at. And there you go, 3 hour, 50 simple moving average. Because if we do go long here, right, this is the 15-minute chart of the NASDAQ firing off some trend cloud signals. We've got momentum on our side. We're above the 50 simple moving average here on the 1 hour chart. We have all three components are met for an upward move. Where's the first target? Well, I'm going to target that 3 hour 50 simple moving average right here. And it's right in line, right, with this market edge here, right in line with that market edge, which would be a supply zone. Here, in fact, here's a rally-based drop. Let's just mark that off. Where are my tools? There we go. So we'll mark off this rally-based drop here. We'll do like that, make it red. There we go. All right, so now we've got, and look where it is. It's right in between ADR checkpoints, right? And look at the blue line here. This is the 89 simple moving average that we just started using a lot more of. Look at how it respects the 89 on your 1 hour chart. It really respects that 89. And what did it do? It ripped right through it. Ripped right through it. That's a good sign that today we'll have a nice upward move. I did end up taking $1,000 last night because of the gap, right? Look at the gap up. I'm telling you guys, watch the Sunday open. It's been very lucrative. We didn't quite have all of the conditions met, but I had to go for it. I had to go for it because there's so I've been right. I haven't been taking the trades. I've been a little overly cautious. And I said, well, look, we've got to get this thing. We have to get this thing done. Um, so there you go. Sunday, if you see a gap up on Sunday, um, I would go for it because it usually ends up continuing. It breaks to the upside and just slowly grinds up. And it doesn't usually retest the gap. It doesn't fill the gap until 2 or 3 days later. That's what we've been seeing. So it's a really interesting thing that happens. I don't have a lot of data on it. I just know over the past few months, when I look at this thing and I see it gap up on Sunday, it does exactly this. This is what it does. It ended up trying to fill the gap here, pulled back a little bit. Obviously, I wasn't going to, take any of that. I was going to wait. I was going to wait, and I took the trade. I'll show you exactly where I took it. I took the trade right above this candle here that broke out to the upside here. So it didn't exactly break out. Um, I took it a little early because I wanted to be inside of the opening range. And I took the trade right here, um, right below the top part of the line here. So it worked out. I could have taken this all the way to my target of 14.99. I don't have it up there now. You can only do, I'm in a combine right now. So you can see here, combine. You can't do more than $1,500 in a day. So what I did was I marked off 14.99 in one day, and it will liquidate. So maybe we can get that, right? Maybe we can get 14.99 today. So there we go. There we go. All right. So let's see what we can get into. I want to pass the combine here as quickly as possible. I got really chopped up in October. That was a rough one for me. That was a rough one. So I think whatever trade you get yourself into, because we have the most experience in the opening range, make sure that your strategy is in place, right? You just take premium setups, and if you're in a situation like this where you've got this massive gap up, you've seen this happen many times before. Um, it's kind of a guess, right? But because we've seen it happen a lot, um, I I went for it and it worked out, right? As long as you are in the same ballpark, you know, in the same ballpark as your strategy. Use your knowledge of trading in conjunction with your strategy as closely as possible, and you're going to be okay. Knowledge without numbers. Oh, that's cool. I like that one. That's kind of knowledge without numbers, right? Knowledge without data is just guessing, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to guess, right? We don't want to guess. We want to have some numbers. All right. Now this thing has gone really flat. It's 9:30. Let's see. Let's watch this. Let's see what kind of a almost 9:30. Let's see what kind of a situation we can get ourselves into here. 20 seconds left. 20 seconds. It's not really doing very much right now. Usually we see around 9 o'clock, we start seeing some movement. But all conditions are met. We still have a pseudo uptrend, right? We've got this pseudo uptrend here going on right now. And in this situation, when we see if this 50 simple moving average maintains a red color, we usually see price come down and hit it. And that would be right inside of Sunday's opening range, right? So we could get some kind of a wacky move here where it pulls down. Previous day's high is right inside there. And it just smacks the 50 simple moving average on that 1 hour chart right here. So it's like a magnet. The 50 simple moving average is like a magnet. Price gets away from it, the magnet pulls it back, gets away, magnet pulls it back until we get something like this, All right, we're in the fourth wave also of the 15-minute chart here. Nice little pop, right? We got a nice little pop there. Let's open this up. Let's watch it on TradingView. We're also inside of the leap, right? We are doing the leap here. Let me get over to paper trading. Let me get over to the leap. All right. They're giving us 100,000 to work with. I'm sure the rule, I didn't even look to see how many contracts we can take, what the rules are. I'm sure they're the same. And we'll just, I'm going to very, very loosely play the leap here and see if we can win first place. That would be fun. That would be fun. So we got a nice move right off the bat here. Uh, probably wants to head towards this. Probably wants to head towards this 50 simple moving average here. Maybe for the leap, we can. I'm just going to follow everything the way we've been doing it. Fifth wave up, it's starting to form that fifth wave up. That's always frustrating when you've got all of your conditions met, right? We've seen that happen a lot. All of our conditions are met, but we're in that extended trend, or we're going into that extended trend on the 15-minute chart, which is our trigger time frame. And it's like, oh man, what to do here? What do we do in this situation? And there's really nothing you can do. Look at the positioning here. Look how constricted trend cloud is here. That's pretty constricted. It's just got to come a little bit below here, recalculate. So the question becomes, is this going to recalculate early on? Or is it going to, you know, move all the way to the ADR checkpoint, and then, that's where we're going to get our pullback. There's a lot of talk right now in the news about, I'm sure if we click onto this little thing here, it's going to talk about the shutdown. Yeah. Can bulls shut down the NASDAQ decline? I don't even know what that would mean. Set for a strong open, government reopening hopes, right? Hope we can reopen. Okay. We are breaking above, and it seems to be right. Not sure what's going to happen. We'll let the opening range form. And like I said before, it being that we've got this pseudo uptrend on the 1 hour chart, even though everything else looks really good, in this particular case, maybe you drop down to the micro, right? But you know, is it even worth it dropping down to the micro? I mean, we've got something that's 70% accurate. You might as well wait, just wait for the setup. The micro, you just don't make anything on the micro. It's just so small. It's not worth making like, oh, I made $100. Like, that's nothing. You're not going to make any money. Like, putting all that time in for $100. I don't know, guys. It just doesn't seem, the worst case scenario is you take a $500 loss. I'd rather wait and trade the full contract. I'm always trying to come up with different risk management strategies. Is it worth it? And that would be a risk management strategy. All right. Well, we've got this pseudo uptrend here on the 1 hour chart. Let's drop down to the micro. You know, if you don't like it, let that be a trigger. Let that be a trigger. If you don't like what you're seeing, just walk away. Just walk away. This is a very bullish candle, very bullish candle forming the opening range here. We're just, we're moving into the extended trend, but we're not there yet. We're still very strong readings, over 100 on CCI 3 hour, over 100 CCI 1 hour, way above, right? We're almost at that 50 simple moving average on the 3 hour chart here. So this is definitely a target if you get into this early. I wonder how many NASDAQs. Ooh. Oh, okay. It wants you to trade you can it wants you to trade the on the leap. It wants you to trade the NQ. the actual NQ contract symbol here, NQ1. It wants you to trade this. Huh, look at that. It's a little different, isn't it? Let's see, how many will it allow us? Two. Look at that. It kind of stops you right at two there. Stops you at two. Okay. Interesting. I've got everything drawn out for us, though, um, here. Really starting to move. Really starting to move here to the upside. $9.39. About 6 minutes left. A lot can happen in 6 minutes. But really nice move on the opening range. I'm telling you guys, Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern. Um, take a look at that opening range. It worked out very nicely for me. Little over $1,000. It did hit the target I was looking for right at $1,400. But it took a while. I mean, look at this. It just, oh my gosh, it just took a long time. And I didn't want it to reverse. I wanted to lock in the 1,000 so that I could pass the combine as quickly as possible. Here we go. Really making a strong move to that 50 simple on the 3 hour chart there. So this is a really good sign. Uh, Possibly going to go to ADR. Let's see if we get a bounce off of. See if we get a bounce off of this 50 simple moving average on the 3 hour chart here. Let's see if it bounces off and gives us some sort of a pullback to this area. Um, I think a lot of people see this. They want to take it as a target. We should get some sort of a bounce off of that. quite a move up. There we go. Right? 3 hour, 1 hour, very strong readings. Very strong readings. Everything's 2020 in hindsight, right? It's like, oh man, why didn't I just take it down here? Why didn't I jump the gun? Your brain is going to try to, do that to you. Just remind yourself we've got a great system, right? We've got a great system. Let's wait for the opening range to form. Right, another 3 minutes left. Now the issue is we're going to be super close to that very first target. You know, kind of a weird situation here. What is everything else doing? Um, right, Dow is starting to pull back after it hit. Right, hits kind of went above the 50 simple on the 3 hour. Russell. Okay, Russell came into see Russell became extended. Look how it became extended to the downside here. Became extended to the downside on the 3 hour, completely reversed. Nice uptrend on the Russell. Nice looking uptrend on the Russell with all conditions met. Um, Russell needs to pull back to here, which is right inside. Look how it's right inside. Can draw it from here to here. Right inside of the 1 hour trend cloud. It's going to pull down, recalculate. You can draw it like that. It's very subjective, you try to be objective as possible. But so Dow and Russell are pulling back. S&P and NASDAQ still going strong. Opening range is still trying to form. And there's the full picture right there on one chart. So we are about to hit the 3 hour 50 simple moving average. There it is. Does it rip through it or does it bounce? I don't know. What I don't like, right? What I don't like is how constricted the trend cloud is on the 15-minute chart, right? That's a sign of weakness, right? You want it to be nice and spread out like this. See, when we had that gap up on Sunday, look how wide. Here's the 50, here's the trend cloud, prices all the way out here, like everything's fanned out nice and wide, right? That's strength. Starts to become constricted. All right, here we go. Look at that. The opening range forms right at the 50. You would have to take this. You'd have to take this immediately right now. Next target would be right here, right? And we're at that 50 right there. We can get rid of this. We know what it is. Let's get a clear picture of this thing and what it's doing. Mm-hmm. As we can go over on the leap, can do it on the leap here. It pulls back. Execution only will result in. Oh, they only let you do one. Oh, interesting. They're only letting you buy one. Okay. Can only buy one. Let's see if we can get into one. Okay. We'll leave that. We'll let it do whatever it's going to do. Hitting that 50 simple, maybe it does a pullback. I don't know. Right. Here comes the pullback now, right as we get into this thing. And we're going to take it right to there. So is this a good risk? It's a $2,200 risk and only a $1,700 target, right? Risk to reward in this trade here that I'm taking on the leap, all right, not in my account here. That is kind of inverted, right? Don't really like that. You can't do that too many times. You can't do that too many times because it will mess you up. Now here comes the reversal here. See, it hit that 50. Let's go back to our analysis here. So we were right to be concerned about the 50 simple moving average on the 3-hour chart. There's your reversal. Not reversal, but pullback, right? So this could potentially pull back or sort of go sideways for a while. But we're running right into resistance right there. Very wide opening range. Let's go over to the 5-minute. Okay, and what we can do is wait for this to do whatever it's going to do, right? It is, yeah, we still got very strong momentum here to the upside. But again, remember this right here. It could pull back. It could pull back right to the 50. See, it just got you in. And now we're going to do some kind of weird stuff. And this is very expensive, right? We would have to see some sort of 5-minute trend cloud signal. Maybe it wants to pull back to here. But when you're in that pseudo trend, I've seen this thing pull back to that red 50 simple moving average and then continue up. And that is all the way down here at Sunday's opening range. I don't know if it's gonna do that. Go all the way back. So in this situation, let's see if we can get some indication that this is going to continue up. Another 3 minutes. 3 minutes on this candle. And basically this right here is this thing right here is the 50 on the 3 hour chart. Make it red. There it is. Really pulling back. What is gold doing? Gold is working out nicely. Do you see how the 50 simple moving average on the 1 hour chart crossed above the 89? And then look at all these trend cloud signals. That seems to work the best. The opening range, like gold broke out to the downside and just never came back. But the opening range on gold, more often than not, it breaks above, it breaks below. It's like kind of impossible to just follow that on gold. You need something that's a little bit more lagging in the direction that gold wants to go. And that means you bring in your moving averages. People always complain that moving averages are lagging. Well, you kind of want them to be lagging because it's this slow momentum that helps you determine the direction of the trend, right? So this is a small pullback on the 5 minute in the bigger upward move, which started right here. 50 simple breaks above the 89, which is the blue line, right? 89 is the blue line. It's a great moving average. Respects it. Respect. Breaks through, right? It's just for direction, right? To give us direction. And it did already hit the very first ADR checkpoint to the upside today. So we've kind of gone as far as we're going to go to the upside in gold, and now it's starting to pull back. NASDAQ hit the 3 hour 50 simple moving average, and it's bouncing back. Now, here's a nice bullish candle. We still got bullish candle that formed the opening range. Nice bullish candle forms the opening range. We're just getting a pullback here. And we're kind of in limbo. And it's going to take a lot of heat, right? You're going to take a lot of heat on this one. Bring up our, see how our 5 minute cycle indicator is pointing down. And we're still cycling down. Go out to the 15. Right? Okay, so we're just pulling back halfway. Full range. That's about halfway, right? Coming up on 10 o'clock. I don't think we have any news. There's no real impactful news here except for this, you know, all the ducks in a row. Look at that. That's a funny picture. Get your ducks in a row. No impactful news except for this. There we go. Starting to get the reversal here. So it pulled back a little bit. Go back to the 5 and we can track this. So made a move up, pulled back. If it breaks through here, starting to break out to the upside again and hit that 3 hour 50 simple moving average. Once again, I would want to see a 5 minute candle close outside of this opening range. I have a feeling this is going to eventually break out. Just take some time, and I'm not willing to take that, being that I already pocketed my 1,000 for the day. And again, now let's see if we were here. Um, you take the bounce on this. Mm-hmm. 685 risk. There you go, right? That's nice. If we get it there. There we go. Trying to break out to the upside. Oops. Trying to break out to the upside here. Running into that 3 hour, right? Running into that 3 hour 50 simple and giving it some trouble. ADR checkpoint is 25,217. Wow, look at that. Look how it's really 25,723. 25, 7. Hmm, not that far away. First ADR checkpoint is not that far away. Made a nice move, just kind of hanging out there. Breaks to the upside, breaks to the upside, and just wants to come, you know, pull back. Um, it's 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, and this thing still hasn't confirmed the breakout to the upside. Could be very expensive. This could be a very expensive trade, right? So I'm just gonna simulate that because I already locked in my 1,000. I don't want to. I don't want to risk that today. Just look for a premium setup. I was thinking about, when you're in sales and whether you're doing recruiting or if you're in any type of sales position, you don't get a sale every single day, right? You've got to look for those deals, or maybe I've got some friends who are in private equity. You know, can you imagine what it takes to do a private equity deal, or in real estate, a commercial real estate deal, a residential, a residential real estate deal? If you're an agent, maybe you do. I don't know. You hope to do one a month, right? I don't think that happens a lot. I mean, commercial real estate deal, though, that's more like a 1 year process. Maybe you do one a year. So you got to think of it in terms of that. Is this the right deal? You know, like, we locked in $1,000 on that gap up from Sunday. Now it seems to be, just kind of crawling sideways. We don't have a lot of official um, information yet, you know, on the reopening. Here we go. Looks like we're starting to do something here. Ooh, look at that. Just missed. It just missed my. Oh, here we go. We may get it now. It's really trying. It's really trying. Momentum and trend are on our side. Right? Momentum and trend. 120. Wow. 179. We just got that pseudo uptrend going though on there we go. Starting to break to the upside now, and then it just like rips back down so quickly. It's really fighting. It's really fighting for that position. Really fighting for that position there. What's going to win out? If you had to take a bet, I would definitely say up, but Is there a better setup? Well, we really like to see when it breaks out to the upside that it keeps going, right? This is kind of, it feels like this is going to take a while. This may take a while, but then eventually make a move, right? Momentum is building. Momentum is building. But it seems to continue to get hammered, hammered back down. And that's what we're looking at there. S&P kind of doing the same thing deep inside of the opening range here. It's kind of, at least the Nasdaq is like trying to like break to the upside here. A little bit more reserved here. But S&P is above the 50 simple on the 3-hour chart. And you see how the trend cloud is starting to turn green. 50 simple moving average. It's like green, red, green. It's trying, right? It's trying to make that upward move from pseudo uptrend into real uptrend. There we go. Very nice. We got 2 minutes left for some kind of confirmation here. Mm, keeps getting hammered, right? Let's take a full view of this. See how look at it's just crawling sideways, right? And I think that's what's going on here. Crawling sideways, break to the upside. Crawl sideways, break to the upside. And that might go on for a while until it breaks above. Again, 1 hour trend cloud, still red. And that's what's given us some trouble here. Momentum still climbing. We haven't seen something like this in a while, right? Usually conditions are met, pre-market, bullish candle forms the opening range, and boom, there's the breakout, and oh, look at it go. This is something else, right? This is happening rather slowly. And that's okay, but is it worth risking? We're doing it on the leap where we are making the move on the leap. Strategic, right? Looking for strategic moves. if you have your buffer, if you've got your buffer and you've built up some equity in that account, you can you can take some more chances. But right now we're trying to just pass the combine and build up get back into that funded account. And that's how you can use your prop trading firm, right? Looks like it wants to break to the upside finally. There we go. Momentum and trend are winning out. This was kind of scary, right? This kind of swayed us. It definitely swayed me kind of late in the day, right? We usually like to see a nice full move out. A lot of wicks there on that breakout, isn't there? A lot of wicks on that breakout. But I think eventually we'll see some kind of a move. It's just going to be probably slow and expensive. And that is not really what we want for a day trade, right? We don't want a slow grind up, you know, on a very wide opening range. Yeah, we'll look for another one. The gap up though, the gap ups on Sunday's opening range, definitely pay attention to that. They usually end up being quite profitable. So, all right, gang, I think that's it. This is just going to grind slowly to the side. I don't know really what this is going to do, but meh, not really the probably the not the best situation for us, right? It's doing some weird things, and um, we called it. It hit. It's hitting. It keeps smashing into. Remember, this is smashing into the 3 hour 50 simple moving average, and that's what's going on right now. So we called that. That was the correct call, and that's how we use structure to make the best decisions for us. So that's it for now, guys. Keep reading price action. I will see you guys tomorrow, and we'll jump into the leap, and we'll see where we qualify. Thanks, Eddie. All right, buddy. I will talk to you tomorrow.